Friedrich Nietzsche was a revolutionary philosopher whose radical ideas reshaped modern thought. Known for declaring God is dead, Nietzsche challenged traditional morality and religion and profoundly influenced 20th century philosophy, psychology, and literature. His provocative insights continue to spark debate and inspire new generations. Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophy is as enigmatic as it is profound, and his writings can be divided into three distinct periods, each showcasing a different facet of his thought. From the romantic idealism of his early years to the sharp, aphoristic wit of his middle life, and finally, the groundbreaking ideas of his mature philosophy, Nietzsche's journey is a fascinating one. Let's dive into the evolution of this iconic philosopher's work and explore how his ideas transformed over time. Friedrich Nietzsche was born on October 15, 1844, in the village of Roken, near Leipzig. His father, a Lutheran minister, passed away in 1849. Following his father's death, Nietzsche's family moved to Naumburg. He was raised there in a household that included his mother, grandmother, two aunts, and his younger sister. In 1858, he enrolled at Schulpforta, the foremost Protestant boarding school in Germany. He thrived academically and received an excellent classical education there. After graduating in 1864, he attended the University of Bonn to study theology and classical philology. However, his 2 semesters at Bonn were disappointing, largely due to bitter conflicts between his 2 main professors, Otto Jahn and Friedrich Wilhelm Rischel. Seeking solace in music, he composed several pieces heavily influenced by the German Romantic composer Robert Schumann. In 1865, he transferred to the University of Leipzig to join Rischel, who had moved there. Nietzsche flourished under Rischel's guidance in Leipzig and became the first student to publish in Rischel's journal, Rheinisches Museum. In October of 1867, he began his military service in the cavalry company of an artillery regiment, but sustained a serious chest injury while mounting a horse in March of 1868. He returned to his studies in Leipzig in October of 1868 on extended sick leave from the military. During his time in Leipzig, Nietzsche encountered Arthur Schopenhauer's philosophy, met the renowned opera composer Richard Wagner, and formed a lifelong friendship with fellow classicist Erwin Rohde. In 1869, when a professorship in classical philology became available in Basel, Switzerland, Rischel recommended Nietzsche with extraordinary acclaim. Despite not having completed his doctoral thesis or the additional dissertation typically required for a German degree, Rischel assured the University of Basel that Nietzsche was unparalleled in his 40 years of teaching experience and possessed boundless talent. Consequently, the University of Leipzig awarded Nietzsche a doctorate based solely on his published works, bypassing the usual examination and dissertation. Subsequently, the University of Basel appointed him as an extraordinary professor of classical philology, and by the following year, Nietzsche was promoted to an ordinary professor. In August of 1870, following the start of the Franco-German War, Nietzsche took a leave of absence to work as a volunteer medical orderly. During his service, he contracted dysentery and diphtheria, which left him with lasting health issues. By October, he returned to Basel to continue his demanding teaching responsibilities. However, by 1871, his declining health led him to seek relief from his academic duties. He applied for an open position in the philosophy department and suggested Rohde as his replacement, but his efforts were unsuccessful. During his early years in Basel, Nietzsche developed a complex friendship with Richard Wagner, frequently visiting Wagner and his wife Cosima. While Wagner admired Nietzsche's intellectual prowess, Nietzsche struggled with Wagner's increasing use of Christian themes, exemplified in the works like Parsifal in 1882, as well as Wagner's nationalism and anti-Semitism. By 1878, their relationship had irrevocably fractured. Nietzsche's debut book, Die Geburt der Tragödie aus dem Geist der Musik, in 1872, or The Birth of Tragedy from the Spirit of Music, signified his departure from traditional classical scholarship. The work, speculative rather than analytical, proposed that Greek tragedy emerged from the blend of Apollonian elements, symbolizing order and harmony, and Dionysian elements, symbolizing chaotic passion. Nietzsche argued that Socratic rationalism and optimism had ultimately led to the decline of Greek tragedy. The final sections of the book enthusiastically anticipated the revival of tragedy through Wagner's music. Initially met with silence, the book later sparked significant debate among those who expected a conventional classical study. British classicist F.M. Cornford praised it in 1912 as a profoundly imaginative work ahead of its scholarly contemporaries. Today, it remains a seminal text in the field of aesthetics. Friedrich Nietzsche's decade of isolation, from 1879 to 89, was marked by severe illness, near blindness, and constant pain. Living in boarding houses across Switzerland, the French Riviera, and Italy, he had limited human contact. During this period, he wrote his masterpiece, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, from 1883 to 1885, which went largely unnoticed. His subsequent works, Beyond Good and Evil in 1886 and On the Genealogy of Morals in 1887, also failed to gain recognition. Despite his struggles, 1888 was a prolific year, producing The Case of Wagner, Twilight of the Idols, The Antichrist, Nietzsche contra Wagner, and Ecce Homo, though many were published posthumously. Nietzsche experienced a complete mental collapse in Turin, Italy, in January of 1889. Following this, he sent strange but significant letters, prompting his friend, Christian theologian Franz Overbeck, to bring him back to Basel. The final 11 years of Nietzsche's life were spent in severe mental decline. Initially, he was in a Basel asylum, later moving to Naumburg under his mother's care, and after her death in 1897, he was cared for by his sister in Weimar. Nietzsche passed away in 1900. While his breakdown was long thought to be due to atypical general paralysis from dormant tertiary syphilis, other theories suggest cerebral blood vessel degeneration, or a retroorbital meningioma, a tumor located behind his right eye. Friedrich Nietzsche's legacy is monumental, having reshaped modern thought with his revolutionary ideas. His work challenged traditional morality and religion, profoundly influencing 20th century philosophy, psychology, and literature. Despite enduring severe health issues and relative obscurity during his lifetime, Nietzsche's writings continue to inspire and provoke debate. Nietzsche remains a pivotal figure whose provocative insights and aphoristic style have left an indelible mark on modern intellectual history.